Hey, new coaches. Welcome to the New to Coaching community. I'm Allison Peterson. I'm the founder of the New to Coaching community, and you may be watching this in the Facebook group, in our New to Coaching Facebook group, or on our YouTube channel. So we're so glad that you're here. Today, we're going to be talking about how to introduce yourself to faculty. This has been a topic that we're talking about in the New to Coaching group, and I've invited my friend and Breakthrough Circle member, Sarah Pike, to come and join me today to talk about some different strategies for introducing yourself to faculty. So I'm so glad you're here. If you are watching this, definitely drop a hashtag replay in the comments. We want to know that you popped by. We want to be able to say hi to you. And Sarah and I can also answer questions. So you can put questions in the comments. Even as you're watching this, we can come back and answer those. So it's so great to have you here. Participate with us as we're talking. So when it comes to introducing yourself to faculty as a new instructional coach, you're going to want to think about a way to present to faculty who you are, what coaching is, and how they can kind of like experience coaching. So the model that I have shared in the New to Coaching group for how to introduce yourself to coaching is these 4 steps. And so when you are talking to your teachers, you're wanting to think about how you're going to introduce yourself, but more than just you, your why for coaching. And then we're going to have you introduce the purpose of coaching using your coaching role graphic so that you can help teachers understand that coaching is a non-evaluative partnership role where you support them in the work that they're doing in the classroom every day to improve student learning. And then the third thing that I include in this introduction to faculty is designing an activity to help them experience what coaching actually feels like, because that can be a really great way to help them get on board and for coaching to not be so scary. Then we use the simple strategy of this small exit ticket as a way to get information from teachers as they're leaving their time with you so that you can follow up with them for future conversations and to really start talking to them more in coaching conversations and leading that into coaching cycles. So this is something that I have taught for a long time, and I've taught it in my New to Coaching group and in my Breakthrough Circle. And Sarah Pike, who is a member of my Breakthrough Circle, has been utilizing this strategy for a few years now as a new coach. So I'm going to introduce you to her and have you hear her story about how she has used the strategies of introducing herself to faculty. So Sarah, come on in. Hey, Sarah, how are you?
I'm great. Good to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so great to see you. So introduce yourself so that people can get to know you and your coaching role and where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm starting my 3rd year as a math instructional coach. The campus that I've been at has been grades 3 to 5 for the past 2 years, but there's been some rezoning and changing in my district. So we're about to open our doors and add K to 2 to our campus. So I'm so excited that I'll have the opportunity to coach grades K to 5 this year for math. And I've also been privileged to work. Our coaching program is fairly new. This is the 3rd year for our district to have math coaches at all. So I've worked on a wonderful team with math coaches, and this year I'm privileged to serve as lead math coach, which just means I'm kind of guiding us in our collaboration. But everybody on that team has so much to contribute, and it's just been a great place to grow and learn.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so exciting. The math coaching program is really like moving. It's up and running. So as you think about introducing yourself to faculty, I know that last year we met and we talked about using this strategy for introducing yourself to faculty, and you and your other math coach, your other coach in your building. Don't you have a literacy coach in your building as
Yes.
well?
Yes.
Yeah, so the 2 of you together designed a short, just you can tell us about how long it ended up lasting, but it's usually about 15 to 30-minute little segment at a faculty meeting to introduce yourself to faculty, introduce you, your coaching, and try and create a coaching experience. And then that exit ticket. So I would love for you to tell us what you did last year, and then we'll also talk about what you're going to do this year.
Yeah, I mean, really, Allison, I followed it to a T, kind of what you just laid out. And I think I even utilized some videos that you had pre-recorded about it with activities and ideas. And I really just took that and ran with it. And it worked so well for me in my coaching program this past year, just kind of growing it and getting more people involved. So really, we just started, like you said, with just introducing ourselves. I think we both had a slide that had pictures of us, and just kind of who we are. And then we just spoke from the heart about our why. Like, why did we say yes to this role as an instructional coach? And then I had gone through the process of designing the infographic, which we shared with the faculty, just to kind of get them familiar with what the coaching role is. Like I said, it was still fairly new to our campus. They had a literacy coach for maybe like 1 or 2 years more, but like I said, math coaching was new to everybody. So really getting them to understand like what a coach does, because when I first took the role, several of them were walking up to me saying, "So what are you going to be doing? Are you going to be pulling kids from our classroom?" And even I, at that point, had to learn what is my role. So really kind of shaping that. And at that point last year, I had 1 year under my belt, so I could better speak to what my role was. And that definitely helped when designing that infographic. But just sharing that out with them. And then the next step, like you said, was designing a coaching activity. And I just really took one that you had explained so well. We had, like, on half a sheet of paper, a couple of questions about what are some challenges that you anticipate for this coming school year. I think that was the biggest one I remember, but there was probably one more question.
The other one might have been, what do you want to do differently
Oh, yeah.
this
Yeah.
year? Yes, that was another one.
Yes. So then we said, okay, with a partner, first of all, we had them reflect on their answers to those questions. And then with a partner, they kind of interacted and just prompted each other with more questions and kind of just talked about their answers to those questions. And so at the end of that, we said, what you just did was coaching. That is what coaching is. A coach is a thinking partner, somebody to collaborate with. So just kind of giving them that experience and making it so we're not standing up there talking the whole time. So it's interactive. And then the best part for me was ending with the exit ticket, like you explained. Our exit ticket was simple and short, but the most powerful question for me was, I think, what unit of study or what time of year would you be willing, or would you see yourself working with a coach? And they kind of jotted down some things. And, some of them were not as easy to grab a coaching cycle from, but there were several that it was like, I want to work on the fractions unit. And so I kind of took all of that information and I had a calendar for the year, and I had a note that said, okay, this teacher will be working on the fractions unit in February. I'm going to go back to her and I'm going to ask her if she's ready to do a coaching cycle. And 100% of people said yes, like once I went back. And
that is so cool.
Yes. So it really worked. Almost to, like, I had 3 people that said yes, they want to work on the fractions unit together. And so I kind of tiptoed into that and learned how to manage a whole group. And that was harder because I stretched myself more thin, but I think I learned a lot from that I'll be able to carry forward to, how to use that data this year when we do our exit ticket.
Yeah. How did you feel like they responded to the activity? Like, did you get any good feedback from, like, how that made them feel experiencing?
Yeah, I think it kind of clarified and gave them some ahas, and made them realize that, like, the coach is not the expert that's coming in and telling you what to do. It's really somebody that you're collaborating with, you're talking with.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that simple activity of just having them turn to each other and ask each other some questions about what they're thinking for this year can really and demonstrate what real coaching feels like. And they can have that, like you said, aha moment of like, oh, this isn't that scary. This is just a conversation. Because
Yeah.
in the conversation, and as you go deeper and you're working with a coach, you get to student learning goals, but it should just feel as though it's organic and natural, right?
Yes.
So then this year, as you were coming to even a close from this year, you were already starting to think about, like, okay, Allison, like, I introduced us last year. Like, should we do this again? Because it feels awkward to stand up and introduce yourself again. Like, this faculty heard this thing last year.
Right.
But I really always encourage coaches to take the time and ask for the time from the principal in an early faculty meeting to reintroduce to them what coaching is, because it's a good time of year to reset. And it's a good time of year to help them see, like, oh yeah, I forgot. I didn't really use that coach last year. I didn't really like utilize that. But
Mhm.
this year it might really be better. And so just keeping coaching at the front, even though you've done it before, does not mean that we don't need to do it again. We need to help teachers always be thinking about the potential of seeking coaching. So as you're designing something for this year, you're going into year 3, you're feeling more confident about it, knowing that it's going to work. What did you guys decide to do this year that is a little different, but still creates the effect?
Yeah, we're really excited. We just actually, the literacy coach and I finished off our presentation yesterday, and it all kind of came to us. So we're going to do the same thing because we do have several teachers who are new to our building. Like I said, because we had some rezoning and merging, all of our K-2 teachers are going to be new to us. And then we have some just new to district teachers as well. So I think it's important for us not to skip over the piece of like get to know you and just kind of become a relatable person, right? So we'll do that where we introduce ourselves and give our why of coaching again. And then we came up with an activity where we kind of reached out to people that we had worked with closely over the past school year and asked if they would be willing to type up just a testimonial about their experience working with a coach. And so what we're going to do, we've gotten several great responses on that. We told them we'll keep it anonymous. So, and you have to judge your campus. Maybe like people are willing to stand up and talk about it. For us, we just decided that this was the approach that we're going to take this year. But we're going to have those posted around the room. Just, I think we're going to have 6 posters. Each one has a different testimonial on them. We're going to number off our teachers and just ask them to go stand at one of the posters and just read the testimonial and then talk in their group about what do they notice, what do they wonder, and how do they think that they could work with a coach this year. And we're going to ask them to jot that all down on the poster where the testimonial is posted. And then we'll just kind of go around and, ask for any ahas or anything that anybody wants to share. And we're just really, hoping that will build some awareness for teachers who are new to the building about how coaching can work for them. And then we're also going to have, we get an hour for our presentation. We might not use the whole thing. It's okay if we finish early, but we're going to have another activity where we have different tasks cut up on the small pieces of paper, and we're going to have them sort. Is this something that a coach does or that a principal does, or maybe both? So we're going to just kind of test their knowledge of what do they think a coach does and clarify any misconceptions.
Oh, I love that, because the really number one thing you're trying to hurdle with this whole presentation is all of the misconceptions
Mm-hmm.
and all of the assumptions that this coach is evaluator. And so maybe if we're separating who is the evaluator, the coach or the principal, not the coach, then that could help. That's so great. So did you guys just design those like lists yourself of like the difference between coach and principal?
So that we actually, because our district has been trained in Diane Sweeney coaching model, student-centered coaching, we actually just took that straight from a page in her book.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Well,
Yeah.
you can share with us the page because I'm sure that people will want to know.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I think, as a matter of fact, we just Googled it, like Diane Sweeney principal coach activity, and it came up. So,
perfect.
but yes,
Okay.
I'll be happy to share that.
Yeah, no, I mean, Diane Sweeney has a lot about, she has a whole book about a relationship between a principal and a coach and how to do that. So that is a great resource for sure. So good. Okay. So you'll have to give us a little bit of a report once you do this next introduction to faculty and let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
Tell us about your exit ticket. Are you going to do an exit ticket for this one?
Absolutely doing the exit ticket again. It's very similar. I think this year the only thing we tweaked was what unit of study or instructional strategy would you like to work on a coach with? Just, because maybe you just want to work on number talks, or maybe you want to work on having small groups, or so we didn't want to limit it to just a unit of study. But other than that, because it was just so successful for me, we're not changing it really.
Yeah. Great. And I love,
and we're going to share that infographic again too, the same one that I designed last year, just, so people can know. I think we'll do that kind of after we do the sorting activity, just to clarify. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds really great because like they can think through it themselves first in the sorting.
Yes.
and then they're going to see you explain it. So that really helps. And then after they do the testimonial activity, they can think about where it might fit for them. And then
Mhm.
on the exit ticket, you get that information.
Yes, so important.
Yeah, and it becomes the golden ticket because it can that conversation and that follow-up, they are more open to it because they did write it down. And then that can really turn into you following up and really working with them on a whole unit, which would be a coaching cycle. So the work
Yeah.
really can come straight from this first meeting.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what, Allison? That's one thing I'm including as well. I designed a different infographic about what is a coaching cycle because we throw
Yeah.
that word, that term around a lot, and teachers don't always know what it means. So I just kind of made a who, what, when, where, why, how, and we'll share that as well, so that when they hear the words coaching cycle, they know what we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, good. Well, we'll put those in the comments on this post so that
Okay.
they can check those out and see some of the things that you're doing because these brand new coaches who have just started, who have never done this, are loving all of these ideas and they're going to go run with them. So we're so excited. So, Sarah, thank you so much for joining me today for this session to talk about
Absolutely.
how to introduce yourself to faculty. And we'll see all of you in the New to Coaching group and we'll connect with you over there.